being in a darkened room watching, something projected to you is hypnotic.
Just because we cross over to the mainland, it doesn't mean we don't love you.
Now you can leave the soil.
It's a very powerful mechanism for supporting ideas, introducing new ideas.
We came here in chains.
When they go down in that water, they ain't never come up. And nobody can walk on water.
Traumatizing you, even.
Who are you? Berta Mae Grosvenor. I said, that don't ring no bell with me.
As well as hopefully healing and enlightening you as a viewer.
1950s in the United States would have had a very narrow range of possibilities for a young black woman. It wasn't a country that was ready for someone like her to be all that she could be. So we see her with the Black Arts Movement, we see her down on the Lower East Side, we see her with these poets, and then lo and behold, with black cinema, there she is too.
They took America on, they challenged America on every level.
I always loved the unbearable lightness of being. I really enjoyed the lives of others, as well as, Charles Burnett's film, Killer of Sheep. There are just so many films, it's hard to list, the do-gooders. I make films for myself. I make films for my community. I make films to reimagine who I am and who I am as an African-American woman in a diasporic, larger community. And I make films to explore ideas. The fine art, the paintings of Kerry James Marshall, once again, there's so many to... Michael Kelly Williams, his sculptures and crafts, and the photography of James Van Der Zee, and just so many. It's hard to pin them down, With every film I create, I always want to bite off more than I could chew, let's say. I like switching up genres, from a dance film to a biography to a documentary to, I haven't done a Western yet, so that's still on the list. But I have done like a cheesy thriller. I just want to try different things. I want to tell different stories, and I want to be able to visualize myself and my community in those different stories that are told in ways that are meaningful and that are exciting and that films that do not portray us as victims. I hope people remember that Julie Dash was a great mother, great mother, and I hope that, and I think some of that mothering, the nurturing, that natural, organic need to nurture and as a mother comes through in my films as well. I'm not trying to pretend that I'm some hardcore, action-packed, film director and writer. I want to do films that uplift, that take us a few steps further towards being enlightened, perhaps, or into something that's healing, something that's that makes you think or want to do more research about the subject matter yourself. But mainly films that make you want to take action in some kind of way that's very positive. That's feel good, feel good films. To follow your heart, follow your passion, follow your intentions, your original intentions, and do not be dissuaded by people who will say, well, I don't fully understand what you're trying to say or to do. Your voice is is one that's unfamiliar. So therefore, do it my way. Don't do it your way. Do it my way so you can get it sold, so you can get a production deal, so you could move further along in your career. I think it's important to speak with your own voice and to stand in truth, wherever you are. The Black Film Center Archive has always been very important to me. I've been here about 3 times before, 2 times with the late Phyllis Klotman and 1 time with Michael Martin prior to this visit. I am always on your website, the Black Film Center Archive, the blog, the website, and the Black Cinema Review, the magazine that comes out. It's very important to me as a filmmaker to be able to reach out and double check, also as a teacher, visiting professor, I have to be able to have at hand's reach the resources that allow me to teach things properly and factually, and to continually feed me new information. Every time, the blog comes through, like, we found a stash of films here and there, and it's just like, really? And then it's like, well, can I see them? It's like, yes, it's right here. So it's, thank you. It's a wonderful thing. Well, I think it's critical. I applaud all the colleges and universities that are teaching film through their English departments, but they're really not approaching film studies in the way that they could and they should or they ought to. You must be able to project films or show the films in the medium in which they were made. So if it's HD film, show it in HD. If it's 35 or 16 millimeter celluloid, show that way. The sound has to be great, just as great as the producers of the film made the sound. You have to respect the art of the whole filmmaking process, the craft and the technology, as well as the artist making the film. And to do that, you need facilities like this, like you have at Indiana University, and then you also need the research facility side, like you have at the various archives, because we are nothing as filmmakers unless we could not only talk about films, but research films, study films, read screenplays, and to look at the films that were made long before we were on this planet.